This is Module 4 of the OpenTelemetry e-learning. In this module, we will zoom on the collector. More specifically, we will understand what is the collector function and its purpose. Then we will describe in details what pipelines are used in collectors and what are the different steps in a pipeline. You will see different examples of configuring a pipeline, and you will have a lab in order to deploy and configure your first collector. But first, what is the OpenTelemetry collector? OpenTelemetry collector is a binary written in Go that is used as a proxy or agent, meaning that it is more or less the OpenTelemetry universal agent. At high level, the OpenTelemetry is used in order to collect your telemetry data, process it, and export it to any backend that you want. This is done in a very reliable and performant way. Moreover, the OpenTelemetry collector supports multiple types of telemetry data and support also multiple formats of this data so that it can be used in order to transform or to translate any information from a specific source format to a different export format. At the end, the OpenTelemetry collector provides also a separation of concerns between the developers and the Ops SRE team, because developers will just have to send their telemetry data to a collector located most of the time on the same network as their application, and the Ops and SRE team will define the collector exporters and transformation based on the company policies and the company backends. The typical architecture of the collector is made of 4 components: receivers to collect the data, processors to transform this data, exporters to export this data to any backend, and extension in order to extend the collector with specific functions. All of these receive, process, and export functions can be used in one or more pipelines. A pipeline is used to define what receiver you will activate, processors you will use in order to transform this data, and exporters to any backend, meaning that you will define as many pipelines as necessary in order to receive, process, and export your data in different formats. This is typically the YAML definition of pipelines. As you can see, you should define the type of data that will be used in this pipeline. It could be traces, metrics, or logs. Then you will define different receivers used to collect this data, the processors that will be used to transform this data, and the exporters used to send this data to the backend. Let's go in details to each of these steps of the pipeline. First, the receiver step. The receiver step defines listeners on different protocols or different formats of data. The most used receiver is OTLP for OpenTelemetry Protocol. But you can also have some receivers specific to different technologies or formats, like the Prometheus receiver in order to simulate a Prometheus database, or Zipkin Jaeger receiver in order to be compatible with these tracing technologies. You can also have receivers that are used in order to collect metrics, like the host metrics receiver. Also, on the contributor project from the OpenTelemetry collector, you can find some editor-specific receivers that are used in order to collect data in the editor format and transform them into the OpenTelemetry format, like Amazon X-Ray receiver, CollectD, Redis, or any kind of editor-specific receivers. Be aware that some receivers only support metrics pipelines and some others only support traces pipeline, like the Amazon X-Ray, for example. So you should look in details on the specification of each receiver to see which pipelines are supported by this receiver. This is an example of a configuration for receiver in YAML format again. Here you can see that we enable an OTLP receiver only for gRPC protocol, and we define that it will listen to any IP address on the port 55678. In order to enable this receiver, you should put it at least in one pipeline, and here we define that this receiver will be used in the trace pipeline. Let's go now to the processors. Processors are the more clever part in OpenTelemetry Collector because they are used to transform your data in any way that you want. Be aware that processors run sequentially, whereas receivers or exporters most of the time work in parallel, meaning that you should define the order of your processor so that you filter first, then you transform your data in order to be more effective and to be more performant when you will process this data. Also, a processor configuration could be used in as many pipelines as you want. They will not be shared because each time you will deploy this pipeline, there will be a single instance of the processor deployed for each one of them. This is a YAML example of processor configuration, where you see that we define a queue-retry processor in order to retry the send of your trace or telemetry data with a size for this queue. Again, in order to enable this processor, you should put it in at least one pipeline. Let's go to some details of the different processors that are the most used. Here you can see different kinds of processors and also different names of most used processors. You can use processors first to optimize the volume of performance of your collector. One of the most used processor and recommended processor here is the batch one because it will optimize the number of connection and network consumption used by the OpenTelemetry collector. You can use also sampling processor in order to reduce the volume of data that you will send to your backend. And if you estimate that your telemetry information is very important, you can use a queue-retry processor in order to resend data if the backend was not available the first time. You can also use processor in order to create some telemetry data. One of the most used here are resource detection or metrics generation because they will collect data either from your host or from your cloud in order to get metrics names, or your cloud provider for this virtual machine, for example, or even the name or version of the operating system. Processor can also be used to filter the data that you want to send to your backend. Typically, this could be useful if you've got PII information in your telemetry data, and you've got different exporters to an internal backend and to external backend, and you don't want to send this PII information to the external backend, then you will use a filter, redaction, or routing processor in order to remove this data or to send only the correct information to the external backend. And finally, processor can be used also to transform your data, like creating new attribute, renaming attribute to a specific format. This is typically the attributes or resource processor, or you can use also a processor to do aggregation or calculation on your metrics or data. If you use the logs pipeline, you can use some processor in order to manipulate this log, like you would do to filter your data, but by using regex on your log files. As said before, processors are run sequentially and are run exactly in the order that you specify them in your YAML file, meaning that you should put any limiting or sampling processor first in order to reduce the amount of data that will be processed by the later ones. This is an example of configuration for a memory limiter processor that is used in order to manage the memory of your OpenTelemetry collector and be sure that it stays in the limits that you define. The sampling processor are one of the most complex to configure because you can have several different configurations for several different services or several different usage of application. This is example of sampling configuration based on a percentage or based on different policies that you can apply to your attributes or to your rate of message. This is also more details around the attributes processor that is used to modify, insert, update any attributes that you want. It could be useful, for example, if you collect traces from an external system and want to put the attribute in the OpenTelemetry format. This is also useful if you want to create some specific attributes based on the value of other attributes. Last but not least, the exporters are used to forward all your telemetry data to a backend endpoint. Like receivers, a single exporter may be included in multiple pipelines. This is an example of YAML configuration for an exporter. Typically, you've got one in Jaeger format with a specific endpoint on the port 14250. And you've got an OTLP exporter that you will use typically to send data to Lightstep because Lightstep is fully OTLP compliant. Again, in order to enable these exporters, you need to put them in at least one pipeline. And finally, extensions are used in order to add some features to your OpenTelemetry collector. Typically, we use extension currently for health check or diagnostic of your OpenTelemetry collector. For sure, if you know the Go language, you can build your own extensions to OpenTelemetry, but you can also build your own receivers, exporters, or processors. This is the typical configuration for the health check and ZPages extension that are used in order to diagnose and to debug your OpenTelemetry collector. Finally, if we put it all together, you should remember that you should define a receiver, one or several receivers in order to collect your telemetry data, one or several processors in order to transform this data or optimize your performance or the volume of data that you send to your backend, exporters to export the data to the different backends that you want to use, and at the end, don't forget to define and to enable these receivers, processors, and exporters in at least one pipeline in order to make them work together. This is the recommended deployment strategy for the OpenTelemetry collector. As you can see here, you will use your OpenTelemetry SDK or agent in your application. Then you will use in the same container probably an OpenTelemetry collector just to collect the metrics from this container or this virtual machine. All the data from the SDK and the agent will be sent to a collector as a standalone that will serve as a proxy in order to process the data and send it to the different backends that you want to use. This is a recommended architecture simply because you use a collector as proxy to avoid putting your backend tokens in all of your agents or on all of your services. So this is a more secure way to deploy your OpenTelemetry collector. Moreover, if you have to do any maintenance or change in the configuration, you can do it in the proxy and you don't have to update all the collector in your different services. So this is both a separation of concern between dev and ops, but also a more secure way to deploy your collectors. If you're using Lightstep, you will probably use also microsatellite, and you want to understand what is the difference between the microsatellite and the collector. So be aware that both components are not doing the same job. Collectors receive, process, and forward your telemetry data, whereas Lightstep also receives your data, but will optimize the volume of data by zipping it and by indexing it before sending it to Lightstep. Moreover, the microsatellite is validated and supported by Lightstep to support very high volumetry. So you will use collector most of the time if you want to send your data to different backends, and you will use the microsatellite if you want to send your data to Lightstep just to reduce the volume of data that you send and optimize the performance. If you want to have further information regarding the collectors, you can see here different links to the GitHub repository of the collector. Be aware that there are two repositories, one for the OpenTelemetry official version and one for the contributor version. The contributor version contains all the official version plus all the contribution from different editors, and that is the one that is the most deployed and contributed to for sure. There is also a Kubernetes operator that you can use in order to deploy a collector with different configuration. It could be deployed as daemon set, it could be deployed as a container in itself or as a sidecar. So this operator is used to simplify your deployment and simplify also the documentation on how to do it. Now that we finish this introduction, you can go to the lab in order to deploy your first collector and configure it.